Welcome to Ruby Moss Cottage, a yurt.cast recorded from our humble yurt high up in the Great Smoky Mountains. We moved from the big city nearly a year ago, not sure of what was ahead, but knew we longed for a simpler, slower lifestyle. Leaving behind the pretensions and the fast pace of the rat race was easy. Leaving behind our precious family was hard, especially since we were very close in proximity. Many yurt dwellers live off-grid, but we are fully functional. Running water, running hot water, electricity, heating, air, washer, dryer, cable TV, internet, you know, all the necessities. There have been some learning curves living life in the round, and we have a lot we want to accomplish to our little mushroom cottage. But we'll get there, one stitch at a time. Something I've had to adjust to are the winter temperatures. While toasty and warm inside, outside of the round has made for some extremely cold walks. I've been busy filling my days with a lot of crafting. What were once hobbies are now my lifestyle. I am creating a new vintage line. These are all makes made from thrifted pieces, all repurposed, recycled, retro makes. These first pieces are being created from a vintage granny square blanket I thrifted years ago. I'm using every last stitch, unraveling seams and reusing the original yarn used in the piece, trying my best to honor and respect the maker, the yarn, the original make as much as is possible. I am a very nostalgic, old, colorful soul, and I hope that comes through in every piece I create. You can find my shop on Etsy as IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. Our yurt, our yom, sweet yom. I hope you had time to grab you a cuppa and your favorite project, and you're just sitting there relaxed, and that the life you are leading is treating you well. Right when I started to set up to podcast, a tractor went by to cut the brush from alongside the road. It never fails. At the same time, my neighbor got out his ATV and was riding around up there, and so I don't know if it's going to be quiet here or if we're going to have some background noise. But for our short little time together, maybe they've taken a lunch break or something. I don't know, because there's no sound right now. I have been so busy. It seems like I have done nothing but work nonstop. As I alluded to in the opener, I have started my own vintage line. It's a clothing pieces right now. However, it is going to be home wares as well. I've got some ideas for home decor, I guess I should say. And it can be found, my shop as of right now can be found on Etsy at IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. And how I came up with that name is my daughter made me this little plaque for my birthday. And this is what it says. It says, you see flowers in these weeds. And then it has a dandelion there. So she stitched this into wood. Now she also has an Etsy shop, and I will link to her shop in the show notes. But this has meant so much to me because I love dandelions, and I see them as flowers where everybody else sees them as weeds. So this is just really, really precious to me, and the fact that she made it for me. Now, I was trying to think of a name for the shop, and the business is basically, in a nutshell, it is thrifted finds turned into beauties, turned into flowers. So when I was brainstorming, trying to come up with a name for my shop, I looked over and saw this little plaque that said, you see flower in these weeds. And it made me think that a thrift store to so many people is just weeds. It's just places where they dump what they assume no one wants. Basically, they're just trying to get the weeds out of their garden. And I thought, you know what? Most people see weeds in thrift store finds, but I'm taking the weeds. I see flowers. So that's where the name came from. IseeFLOWERSbyRMC by Ruby Moss Cottage. Ruby Moss Cottage was obviously too long to put out there. So it's IseeFLOWERS. Did I say I see weeds? It's IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. It's on Etsy. It'll all be in the show notes. Right now, I've just opened it. It's just brand new. So right now there's two pieces in there. There's a duster that I made first. That was my first piece, and it took me forever. What I'm doing is, for these first few pieces, I've used a blanket that I thrifted years ago. And how the idea came to me for this business was in a dream. I dreamed that I had taken that blanket and I had made a duster from it. And so there's trip number one. And so I thought, this happens to me a lot. I will have a dream about how to decorate something, or how to put an outfit together, or what to create, what to knit, what to crochet, whatever it is. I'll have a dream so much of the time, and then I'll get up and I'll like, oh my gosh, that would be so perfect. So that's how this business started. It started with a dream. And so I made this duster, and it took me so long because, I'm a newbie at it. And what I'm doing is I took this blanket, and I want to be as true to the authentic vintage make as I can. So I'm not just taking scissors to it and cutting out a piece. I am snipping at a thread of yarn, and I'm unraveling the seams so that I can reuse that yarn in stitching it back together, because I want it to be a true vintage, true retro piece. I don't want to just take someone's hard work, and even though I'm making something beautiful from it, just kind of disrespect it and add my own yarn and stuff. I really want to respect them and the time that they took to make that piece, that blanket, or whatever it is. Right now it happens to be a granny square blanket that I'm working from. And you know, their family members really didn't think enough of it to save it or to salvage it. They just tossed it off to Goodwill or wherever it is I thrifted it from. I can't even remember now. I think it was Goodwill, I'm not sure. But and maybe the maker took it to Goodwill themselves. I don't know. I'm sure I've taken some of my handmade stuff there. Regardless, it ended up there, and so I'm going to see flowers in these weeds, and I'm trying to honor the craft and honor the make and honor the makers gone before me, and creating beautiful things from it. So in my Etsy shop, there's a scarf and there is the duster right now. Now I am currently working on this skirt, and it's going to be one that you would wear. Okay, I would wear leggings underneath of it, or tights, thick tights. I don't know. Someone may just wear it, whatever. But I'm making this, and today I will be hand sewing the elastic band to it. So this is the elastic waistband, but this is what the skirt is going to be. It's not seamed up yet. It's just a flat piece of fabric. But this will be the next piece that goes into the shop, and it will be a skirt. So I hope that you will check it out. What my plan is to always present to you all. I just stabbed myself with a pen. My hope is that I can always present to you first here, and you can see it, the piece, and you can say, oh, I would like to buy that, before I put it into the Etsy shop and let everyone else have a shot at it. I just thought it would be some way I could honor you, my faithful viewers, if you're interested. I also do take custom orders. I have a whole stack of blankets that I'm going to be working from. Now, obviously, the pieces that I'm making now, I'm making for my body type, because I don't have a dress form yet. So, excuse me. I don't have a dress form to fit different sizes, to make different sizes from yet. So, these pieces, like the duster that's on there now, it would fit, because it's kind of oversized, it would fit from a size 8 to a size 12 very easily, I feel. The scarf, obviously, one size fits all. This skirt probably would be an 8-10. I don't know until it's finished, but you know, if you're a smaller size, or if you're a bigger size and you would like one, just let me know. Or if I had someone message me and said that they had a blanket, and so absolutely, if you have a vision, and if you want to send me something that means a lot to you and say, would you make me blah blah blah, I will give it my best shot. I will be honest with you if I think it's outside of the realm of my possibilities, but I would definitely give that a shot for you. So custom made is welcomed. So just communicate with me. You can DM me on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account now that's IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. That is another place that you will see all of my makes. I probably will for a while now, until that Instagram page takes off. I probably will post to my Ruby Moss Cottage Instagram account. I have put a few things on there. So I'm just working the kinks out. I'm finding my way through this. But it's really something that found me. I chose as a young adult, as a young mother, I chose to leave the banking industry and be a stay-at-home mom, to be a homemaker. That was my choice. And now on this side of it, and my children are all grown and out of the house, and I have nothing to fall back onto now. I mean, like, now is the season in our life where I should be making some money. I need to be making some money. We, you know, life's not all a bed of roses. And so I have no skills because I've been out of the workforce for so long that I really, I started brainstorming, what can I do? I mean, I could go work retail, but do I want to do that? And is that the best utilization of this time I've been given? And so as I thought about it, and then I had this dream and I thought, oh, you know what? This could be my answer. I'm not going to get rich by any means, but you know what? It can help. And so that's why I've set this business up. I had this plaque in my bathroom. It's a little marble plaque, and it's the A to Z of aging gracefully, I think it is. And B is bloom late. And so I guess that's what you could say. I'm just a late bloomer. I'm in my 50s and I am starting a business, and I hope it's successful, because everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to be proud of what they put out there and what they do in life. So this is my go. This is my bloom late. I'm going to, as my dad would always say, keep on keeping on. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. And hopefully you all will like the makes, and hopefully others will like them. And it will be a blooming business that I have a lot of fun at, as well as I have fun, and the people who buy the product love it. But that is about, it's my new vintage line. So that is what that's all about. In case you are just jumping on here and you don't really understand what's going on, that's what's going on. I've been very busy, I guess, is where I started off with that. And now the tractor has started back up. Yay. Oh, the joys of yurt life, because you hear everything in a yurt. You hear a bird chirp, you hear people walking on your gravel, you hear tractors, you hear it all. And I don't know how it's going to come in through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop and pause for just a little while. He shouldn't be long, I don't think. And then I will start recording again when he is gone. Okay, he's a little further down the road now. I can still hear him, but I don't think it's going to come across as loud here. So, yeah, we'll give this another go, and hopefully it'll be a little quieter. So what's been going on around the yurt? Okay, this is something that that happened to us. I'm sitting in a different place because the sun has moved since the last little snippet, and it was casting shadows on my face. And at my age, you don't want shadows. So I moved. I'm sitting in a little chair now, or sitting not in a little chair, I'm sitting in a chair, and I'm facing the back door. So like, I'm tempted just to look out there and stare off to the mountains, because it's just so peaceful. But talking about a learning curve, living in the yurt, we had our tub, it was very slow to drain, and could not figure it out. I cannot tell you how many bottles of Drano and Roto-Rooter and vinegar and baking soda, you name it, we poured it down that drain. I was convinced that it was froze at some point. There was a place that was froze. He did not go for that. He said, no, there's a clog. But it didn't make sense to me that just all of a sudden it stopped draining. I mean, I would have thought if it was a clog, it would have been a slow fade. And so that's why I just thought, no, it has to be frozen. So he finally decided, before we called a plumber and went to all that expense, he thought, I can do this. So he was going to start taking the pipes out and checking. But there must have been some trap or something that he opened, and he saw, okay, it's not clogged at this point. So that helped him eliminate to where the area that the problem was. The area that the problem was in was the drain, like the stopper. Turns out that one of us had clicked the little stopper for the drain. So there was nothing wrong. It just needed lifted up, like, you know, the little silver thing that's on your tub that you just lift up when you want the water to drain. Well, and push down when you want it to stop. We never used that because when we bought the yurt, they had just like a Rubbermaid thing that you just put over the drain. And so we just thought that's how you stop the water from going out of the tub. So we always used that. We never ever fooled with the little lever or the lever that lets the water out of the tub. So after he took all that out, he realized the problem was we just needed to put the little lever down. And I mean, to tell you, that water drained so fast when he did that. So thankfully we did not call a plumber and have him come up and pay him to tell us that all you need to do is just move your little lever here and the water will drain. I mean, it's like the blind leading the blind up here. And of course, all he can say is, well, I knew it wasn't frozen. I knew it wasn't frozen. Well, I knew it wasn't clogged. So that's the mentality the two of us are. It's like up here, well, I knew it wasn't frozen. Well, I knew it wasn't clogged. Instead, we're both idiots, and all you just do is just pop. So if you have a tub that won't drain, call us, because we can walk you through the steps of how to get it to drain. At least that would be something I would try before I called a plumber. Thankfully, we did not. Thankfully, we did not spend that money on that. We're busy right now spending the money on our truck because it seems like everything is going wrong with that right now. But on a brighter note, since the last time I talked to you, I've found out that I told you that we were getting a grandbaby, and we have found out that it's going to be another little boy. So she's going to be the proud mama of 3 sweet little baby boys. They're not babies. Well, Silas is a baby. He'll be 2 in March. But Jude is going to be 7 next week, a little over a week. Wow. So yeah, we're going to go home and we're going to see all the grandies. I'm so excited about this. This baby will be number 5. So we'll have 3 boys and 2 girls. And so exciting times for us. What have I been doing other than working for IseeFLOWERS? I have been working on the shawl that I showed you the last time, which is the Jane Shawl by Nene Makes. And I will show you how far I've gotten. It is growing. So yeah, see, I can almost there. This needs to be just a little bit down. Maybe that'll help. Oh, and that's the glare from the sun from the front door. Okay, so it's growing. I love it. I'm going to tilt this so maybe you can see it a little bit better. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. It is such a pretty stitch in all of my Scrappy colors. I love it. I love it. So I probably will go maybe another inch or so. That will make this a substantial before I put the I'm almost there. I won't have a lot more to go on that. But that's what I'm working on, the Jane Shawl. Hold that up so you can see it a little bit better. I love it. It is such a fun thing to make. Now, the other thing, it seems like I'm doing a bunch of scrappy projects right now. Now, I've got my camera a mess. Now I think I'm cutting my head off. Let's see here. Is that better? The other thing I'm working on is, and it's a basket of scraps as well, but it is the Stash Dive Scarf by Summerlee Designs. And this is it. Oh, I'm so in love. It's like a big tube. So yeah, it's going to be long because I want it to wrap and wrap and wrap. But I've only started this. It hasn't been long. It's so addicting. I mean, you just want to knit, 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 knit. And I'm using these Denise needles. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Okay, so this was a gift from my sister, the one that podcasts with me every now and then. She knew I loved it. I've got to be really careful with my sisters because if I say I love something or I really want something, it seems like they run out, and I'm so sorry about that. They run out and get it for me. So like now I don't feel like I can talk around them. But these are the Denise interchangeable needles. And they are pretty. Like this cable is red because I went with a short cable. The cable, I wish I had the set here. And these are yellow and they're plastic. And it seems like the more they warm up in your hands, the faster you knit. I am so in love with these needles. They only start, this set starts at 4 or 5, I think. And most of the stuff I knit is on smaller needles. So this is the first time I've got to knit with them. I love them. I love them. I cannot say enough good about them. But yes, so that is my Stash Dive Scarf by Summerlee Designs or Summerlee Knits. It'll be in the show notes. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm working on the sweater. Remember the sweater that's being commissioned? So I have the back done. I have the 2 sides done. I'm working on the sleeves. So I have almost half of the first sleeve done. That has taken so much time. I work on that every day a little bit, and then some days I just devote to it. But I mean, it's an oversized sweater that, I mean, this sweater is stitch by stitch and it's all flat. So then once I have all the pieces done, I have to seam everything up. I will be so glad to get that off to its owner, and then I can just concentrate on other things that are a little more fun and not so time consuming. That's all that I'm working on actively. Of course, you know, as a maker, as a knitter, as a crocheter, I have a lot of stuff in my bags, but those are just the things that I'm working on. Okay, let's talk about the book bag now. I have been reading some good books, and I'm excited about that because it seems like it's been forever since I've read some good books, like a good string of good books. So I don't remember if I talked about this the last time, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's deserving to be talked about. It's The Book Charmer. Very, very good book about a small town community. And it is actually set in the area of the Black Mountain Yarn Shop. Black Mountain, they don't talk about the Black Mountain Yarn Shop, but it is set near Black Mountain. So it's, you know, they talk about Charlotte. There's knitting. One of the characters is a knitter. It's just a small town book, and it is so, so good. I really, really would highly encourage you to read this one by Karen Hawkins. So that's The Book Charmer. Very good. Then the other 2 were on my Kindle, so let me pull those up. one I read over the holidays, and even though it was a holiday book, I think you would enjoy it, or you might want to just put it on your list for the next holidays. Well, let me find it here now, in my library. It is Christmas at the Little Knitting Box. No, I just want to pull up the cover. I don't want to download it again. Okay. Shoot. All right. I'm going to try to, oh, see, it's not going to show up that way. I wanted it, it marked them as red, and then, okay, well, let me see this. Okay, here's one. I thought I put it on cover. Okay, put the Christmas one on hold for a minute. This one is My Mother's Secret. And it is by J.L. Whitterick. It is set back it's in Poland during World War II. So it's based on a true life story. It is a work of fiction, but it is based on a true life story. So it was a bit pricey for the length of the book. It was $9.99, and then, I mean, I read it in one morning. It was just such a quick read, but it was a very, very good read. So, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. I would say it's worth the $9.99 to download. I thought that was just a little pricey. For $9.99, I would think I could read a little longer than a couple of hours. Then the other book I read was, oh, okay, it was the one that I was telling you about. Christmas at the Little Knitting Box. It is a cute, cute book set in New York City. And it's just a little love story. It's, you know, a mindless read that's just really, really cute. She was from England originally. So there's that tie if you're from the UK. But those are the books that I've read. I'm reading another one now, Excellent Women, in another book club. I'm in the middle of, not even in the middle of it. I'm kind of struggling through that one. I'm just going to be honest with you. But those three, The Book Charmer, The Little Knitting Box, Christmas at the Little Knitting Box, and then My Mother's Secret are three really good books that I think you will enjoy a lot. Thank you so much for joining me again at our little yurt, listening to me ramble about my makes. And I always love hanging out with y'all. Thank you for your kind comments on the last podcast of my new openers. I hope you like them. I'm sorry that I've yanked at my top the whole podcast. I'm sure that's annoying. But yeah, thank you for your comments. It seems to my new openers, everyone likes them, and I'm glad. I just wanted to try something new for the new year, change things up a bit. And until the next time, just remember that you can follow me on Instagram at Ruby Moss Cottage. You can also follow my new shop on Instagram at IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. My Etsy shop is IseeFLOWERSbyRMC. And please follow along here. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and that way you'll get a little reminder of when I post. I'm going to try to keep the Instagram accounts separate at least another week or so, and they'll be separate. So you'll get to see different things on each page. So if you'll follow along on both pages, you'll get an all-encompassing look. I try to keep Instagram and podcast a little separate, so it's not like when you watch my podcast, it's like seeing my Instagram account all over again. I really try hard to keep them different. So if you're not following me on Instagram and you think this is enough, you're missing some things, because I do post some things on Instagram that I don't show here. And if you're watching this, then you're not just following my Instagram account, but So yeah, please tell people you know. I would like to get a little more viewership, just a little more people tuning in to our yurt life, and then directing them to my IseeFLOWERS by RMC Etsy shop. So if you'll do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And until next time, just remember that in all you do, take it one stitch at a time.